we're on the right track now. This is a huge weekend of college football. There's so many top 25 matchups. I think I saw something, there haven't been this many top 25 matchups playing each other in like 20 years. So we're in for a treat today. We picked a couple of those top 10 matchup or top 25 matchups. We got Penn State, Michigan in the pick six, and we also got Alabama, Tennessee in the pick six, along with some of the stuff that people have been reading the column are accustomed to, which are some of my kind of dark horse under the radar picks. We're pretty Big Ten heavy this week. And I guess we can just start off talking about games if we're ready to go. Are you ready, Jack?
Yeah. Ready. Go ahead, right, Nate. Take it away, baby.
Then let's go. We're starting off with Minnesota at Illinois. That's a noon Eastern time kickoff. You're going to want to watch that on the Big Ten Network. And, really what we love here is I love the under. This is two really teams that are defined by their defenses. We have Illinois ranked 7th. We have Minnesota ranked 18th in defensive efficiency. Neither of these teams are particularly prolific scorers, and this total is low for a reason. The total's at 39.5, but it looks like Illinois is going to be playing their backup quarterback, Arthur Sitkowski. He transferred in, and he has not been good, to say the least. He's one of the lowest-rated quarterbacks in any Power 5 conference or any Power 5 school. He is terrible. So with him under center, I think that Illinois probably keeps it pretty simple, pretty vanilla for him, and they try and attack the Gophers on the ground. The problem is that Illinois doesn't run the ball particularly well. So I like this low total. I can't see either of these teams going crazy and breaking off a bunch of big plays. So play the under 39.5 here. Jack, do you had some thoughts on this game as well?
Yes, I think so I've been rolling with Minnesota all long. I did a Big Ten preview, and I encourage people to look at their futures to win the Big Ten West. I just don't think the Big Ten West is really that good. I think Illinois is a little bit of a paper tiger. They haven't really beat anyone that I respect. I definitely don't respect Iowa, who I think they beat earlier in the year. So the Illini like to play defense, just like a lot of teams in the Big Ten. They can score, but they really would rather just not. They like to ground it out on the D. I just think Minnesota is the better team here. I think that's why the line is 6.5. But I'm okay laying the points and just rolling with Minnesota. And just part of the reason is because I just love the Gophers. So I'm not sure that this is the best play. It seems weird to have to lay this many points when Illinois is a ranked team. But if you remember the BYU-Baylor game, that was a situation where BYU was ranked and Baylor was not. And you had to lay a ton of points to get Baylor. Everybody grabbed BYU because they were like, "This is ridiculous. BYU's ranked," and the team that wasn't ranked won. So I think Vegas kind of knows something here, and I think Illinois is going to be exposed as a paper tiger this week.
All right. So Jack likes the Gophers. Nate likes the under. Look, I'm not part of the college football pick things here, but if I was betting this game, I definitely bet. I definitely bet Minnesota. I kind of agree with you guys. I don't really see the Illini. I bet them early in the season. I think they won the first game, and then Indiana or somebody blew them out. I lost interest. Let's go to, this is like you say, Nate, Big Ten mania. Penn State at number 5, Michigan. I mean, this basically at noon is the game to watch. Any chance here for a Nittany Lions upset, Nate?
I don't see it happening. I mean, Michigan is just so much better than anybody that Penn State has played this year. I mean, J.J. McCarthy has been unbelievable for Michigan since he started playing there. I mean, he's just incredibly efficient. He's been nothing short of elite. The running back Blake Corum has just gone wherever he wants to on the football field, coming out of the backfield. They played a close game with Indiana last week, and I think that's going to scare some bettors. Just because, Michigan was supposed to beat Indiana pretty handily. Indiana's a pretty mid-pack Big Ten team. But, that was an obvious flat spot on their schedule, right? They've obviously have been looking forward to playing Penn State, and that happens a lot with these college teams where they kind of come out a little bit flat the week before a big game. So, don't get scared off of Michigan here. This team they look for real. Their defense is for real. Their offense is for real. And I think they just take care of business against Penn State. Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I really tried hard to find a reason why I liked Penn State in this game. Like, I looked up a whole bunch of statistics, all these advanced metrics. I looked at strength of schedule, and I just couldn't figure out a legitimate reason to take the Nittany Lions. Now, I have been picking against the Nittany Lions and losing all season long, so I just don't think they're very good. But I could be wrong. One of the things, Nate talks a lot about the offense in our column, and I kind of looked at the defense because this is a sneaky good defensive team. They're ranked fifth in the country. They're in a top 10 in almost all the big categories: run defense, pass rush, turnovers. They have some really nasty defensive linemen in Chris Jenkins and Maisie Smith. The Nittany Lions would like to run the ball. They run the ball about 53% of the time. Their offense is on the field, so they're a little run heavy. It's not 65%, but 53 means that they have to be able to get the run game going. And not only can the Wolverines stop the run with the defensive line, but they have some linebackers who are really good at making open field tackles, which helps control the second level. So if a running back can get past the line and get to the second level, a lot of times they can break for 20 or 30 yards. But if the linebackers can make a tackle in the open field, usually they can't get past the second level, and you're still in second and 4 territory. I don't think the Nittany Lions can really protect Clifford. They're 56th in pass blocking this year. Michigan ranks 11th in the pass rush. I just think in Ann Arbor, this game is kind of a blowout. State drops in the rankings.
Look, Michigan, somebody's got to beat them, right? And Penn State's pretty good, but when you talk about them going to Ann Arbor, and you talk about trying to play Michigan there with 100,000 people, I mean, I just don't see it. So I'm kind of with you guys. I like Michigan minus the 7. I just think they're the better team, better defense. They win. Now we got a big one. Let's go to the SEC, Nate. Alabama at Tennessee. Tennessee, a 7-point underdog at home, 100,000 people there in Rocky Top. Maybe Alabama's not as good as we think they are, Nate. What do you think?
Alabama hasn't been that dominant team that we thought they were. They've played some close games this year. They haven't been that team that just blows everyone away like usual, and I think that's scaring some people. It looks like it's hard to say who's going to play quarterback. We don't know if Bryce Young is going to be healthy yet. It could be their backup Milroe, and we're going to see kind of what that looks like. Obviously when they're warming up, so you may want to wait to play this until you see who's out there at quarterback. But if Bryce Young is hobbled or a little bit, injured still, or if he just doesn't play at all, I mean, I think this game favors Tennessee. Tennessee's real Achilles heel is their pass defense. They are not good. Like several other SEC teams sort of inexplicably are just very bad against the pass. But they are very good against the run on defense. So if Alabama's forced to sort of run the ball and play a little bit more conservatively with a backup quarterback, I think this game favors Tennessee, and I think they can stick around to the 7 points just because their offense is so good. I mean, their offense has looked great. Hendon Hooker has looked spectacular under center. So I like Tennessee here plus the points. This is a huge game for them. It's something they've been thinking about since the season started, I'm sure. And, at some point, Alabama's going to lose. I know Jack disagrees with me, but Alabama just played way too many close games and had way too many come down to the final couple of minutes. At some point, their luck's going to run out, and it might run out here today. I like Tennessee maybe to pull an upset.
Jack, you got the opposite pick here in the SEC.
Right, yeah, Nate's wrong. And not that, everyone's wrong on this. Everyone wants Tennessee. I know Alabama's favored by 7, but even my friends who are Alabama fans are doing the kind of aw shucks, maybe you got us this year thing that they do when they aren't confident. Usually when that happens, they just roll over someone. I cannot see a way that Tennessee wins this game. I don't care if Bryce Young's playing or not. I think he probably will. College isn't like the NFL. Usually they just throw the guy who's better out there and just hope he doesn't get hurt. Even worse, I imagine Bryce Young will play. Tennessee's not very good at run. They're ranked in the 40s. Their defense is ranked 86th. So if you're looking for a shootout, you're probably going to get it because Tennessee can move the ball. But Alabama also, they're always the most physical team. They always have the better game plan. I respect Hendon Hooker, and I respect Tennessee as a good team, I guess. Actually, I don't really respect Tennessee. That's just wrong. I think I just said that because I'm on the radio. I don't think they've played anybody that I respect. I don't think LSU's that good. I don't think Kentucky's that good. I think they beat Pitt. Oh wow, that's great. So I just like this is a team. This is a team in the SEC. This always happens where you get a couple teams that look good and then they play everyone else who's good and they end up like maybe 9-3 or 8-4. And this is the week that they lose that game. Maybe they cover. I mean, Tennessee +7 is not a bad call considering Alabama has played a close game against Texas and a close game against Texas A&M. They always play Texas A&M close, so you can throw that one out. It doesn't matter. The Texas game was weird. Quinn Ewers was cooking. They couldn't really get things going. Nobody at Alabama thinks Bill O'Brien is Steve Sarkisian or Lane Kiffin, but I think Alabama just rolls in this game. It just feels like one of those games where Saban just asserts his dominance, shows that he's the best college coach who's ever lived, and Tennessee goes back into their hole. They lose to Georgia. They drop another game they're not supposed to, like Mississippi State or something, and then they end up 9-3. Second in the SEC or third or whatever. I don't respect them.
All right, so you're basically you want to go with you want to go with Alabama and lay the 7. Nate's going and taking the 7. I would bet the game, but to watch it, if I had to, I just take the 7 out Tennessee at home. But I have no feel for this game, and Alabama just always keeps winning. So I mean, it's just tough to bet against a team that wins on like Alabama is. But I kind of hear what you guys are saying. Al, seems like we got a problem on Getter. They're not getting sound. I'm not sure if it's just Jack and Nate or just me or Nate. I can't seem to get any of the feedback back. So you might want to check that out and tell me what we're doing. And if we have to, we'll switch to phone at 9. But I think from our standpoint, Al, testing this system, it sounds fine to me, and I think it sounds fine on the radio. It sounds fine on our app. So we'll have to figure the Getter thing out later. Let's get to Western. I mean, we get some of your offbeat games here, Nate. Western Kentucky at Middle Tennessee State. And remember, if you're going to pick these games, these offbeat games, you got to win them because there's no other reason why people would watch them except to win. Western Kentucky at Middle Tennessee State. I guess that's MTSU basically +8. What's your pick there, Nate?
Well, yeah. So if you're like me, 1 or 2 games on college football Sunday isn't enough. You like to have 10 or 11 to really just redline your anxiety, So that's what I do. I have about 18 tiles up on my computer. I have several TVs going, and this is just one of those games that I'm sort of interested in watching. Western Kentucky's fun to watch. They score about 40 points a game in conference play, and they're playing a Middle Tennessee team that does not defend the pass well at all. This is the same Western Kentucky team that produced Bailey Zapp, who's played a couple Sundays for the Patriots so far this year. And their quarterback right now is playing about at the same level that Bailey Zapp was playing at last year. So, I mean, they have a legitimate quarterback again. And that's good news for them. It's bad news for Middle Tennessee State, who is dreadful against the pass. So this is a game where I love the offensive edge for Western Kentucky, and I love over the total of 67 points. Neither of these teams is particularly interested in playing a ton of defense. Both tend to score pretty well. I think this game goes well over the total of 67 points, and I think Western Kentucky edges them out and beats them by a couple of scores, which is why I like them -8 as well. So if you just hate watching high-profile games and you have an ESPN Plus account, go ahead and just fire up some of these games.
Jack, do you have a?
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Yeah, I just like the over here. I don't have a feel for this game either. Nate does do this because he just has to have 10, 15, 20 games. However, I can't really get mad at him because I parlayed Navy and UTSA last night, and I didn't even watch. So it's not like I am crushing it either. Yeah, I kind of like the over. Western Kentucky scores a ton of points all the time. I bet against them earlier in the year when Nate picked them, and I was like, they're not going to score that many points, and they did. Hopefully Middle Tennessee State scores as well, and we can hit the over at 67, which is a huge over. So both teams have to score 40 It's not my best bet.
Okay, Kent State at Toledo. This is another game. Toledo -8. I don't even know either of these teams, Nate. So again, what is your thought here? Like, who cares about this game? And why do you like Toledo -8?
Well, I mean, we're here to make money, right? And it's really hard to bet these sort of high-profile games just because they get so much money on them. The line gets banged out pretty hard, and by the time they kick off, the line is pretty much exactly where it should be. So we look for edges, in other places. We look for edges in these smaller games where there's less attention, maybe less money flowing in. Maybe we can find a little bit of an edge, and I think that's what we had here. And it's mostly because Toledo played a really rough non-conference schedule. They got destroyed by Ohio State. And I think a lot of people aren't respecting them as a good team, but they're the best team in the MAC conference. And I think that, they're due to pull off a big win here, and I think they're due to just roll Kent State. I know that everybody, when Kent State sort of hung tough with Georgia for a little while and made Georgia fans a little bit nervous, but this Toledo team is just way better. I mean, Kent State at the end of the day has one of the worst secondaries in all of college football. I had them I saw a rating that they were 6th worst. They've struggled to stop anyone that's even remotely capable of throwing the ball. And that's sort of, once Georgia finally abandoned the run and let Stetson Bennett throw it, they obviously came back against Kent State. I think Toledo throws it well. I think they just roll over the top of Kent State.
Jack, you got any feel for this thing at all?
So I spent.
What? We lose Jack? Jack, we lose you?
Can you hear me?
No, yeah. Go ahead now.
Yeah, sorry. I accidentally clicked some. That was my fault. So I spent 5 paragraphs writing about Toledo in this column. I was writing about how amazing their defense was, how incredible their offense was, how animated their coach was. And then I realized that I was actually writing about Tulsa, who Ole Miss played a couple weeks ago, and I saw in person. So I got those two teams confused. So I actually don't know anything about Toledo. So I know that they are in Ohio, I think.
All right, we'll pass on that. We're running out of time. Another Big Ten game. Nate, Wisconsin at Michigan State. Michigan State having a very disappointing season, but so is Wisconsin. Michigan State at home, 7.5-point underdog. This is like a must-win game for both teams, right, Nate? What do you see here?
Absolutely. I mean, Wisconsin's definitely underperformed this year. I think they came in thinking, they could be a sneaky dark horse in the Big Ten, maybe make some noise, maybe score a few upsets, and it just hasn't happened for them. They fired their coach a couple of weeks ago, and last week they actually looked quite a bit better, especially on offense. So, I mean, this Wisconsin team looks a little bit resurgent, and really what it was they just started passing the ball more. They were incredibly conservative before. They have a great running back in Braylon Allen. He was one of my sneaky Heisman dark horse picks. But they were just giving him the ball too much. They just weren't balanced enough. But now they're throwing the ball a little bit more. They're playing a little bit more up-tempo. And it seems like they've sort of finally found their offensive combination. And that's why this total just feels a little bit too low to me. I think that Wisconsin's sort of stats aren't reflective of how they're trying to play football now. Michigan State is not good at covering teams. Their secondary is a huge weak spot for them. So if they throw the ball a little bit more, I think this game should be able to go over 49.5 relatively easily.
I don't know. I never bet over and under, and I certainly wouldn't bet it here. But this is a must-win game for both teams, and I just can't see Michigan laying 7.5 here. I mean, this is the only game that I'm going to actually bet on Saturday, and I'm going to bet Michigan State. I mean, both teams are underperforming. One is a 7.5-point underdog at home. I mean, I'm not going to lay 7.5 on Wisconsin. No way. So I'm going to go with Wisconsin. Jack, I think you see it the same way as I do. I got just a minute. We seem to be losing Jack. Okay, let me just read Jack's column here. He says, I would be inclined to agree with Nate if I could trust Michigan State's offense. Jack goes on to say, I think the Badgers come to East Lansing and get right with God. I don't love this pick because both of these teams are unreliable, but Sparty is more reliably bad. So lay the points and see what happens. Jack picks Wisconsin. Wisconsin minus the 7.5. Okay, quick break. When we get back, we're going to the NFL. Stay with us. Problems on Getter Sound. No way we're going to fix it today. I'll get to that next week. There's a new audio system. If you want to check us out, go on the app if you're on Getter and just stay with the screen. And for those of you commenting on my orange Astro shirt, it's game day, baby. That's why I've got it on. And I do look like the biggest Astro fan ever. I should have put my hat on. We'll be right back.
Not sure about the over-under or how many points to lay? Let Godzilla lead the way. You're listening to the radio show for winners, Godzilla Wins, exclusive on the John Fredericks Media Network.
For entertainment purposes only.
All right, Al. Sorry about that. I think we're good now. I got my mic on. I had the other mic, so we switched back, ladies and gentlemen, to the other system till I get this fixed out. Technology sometimes takes a while. Al, is everybody on? Can everybody hear me?
We are here.
Okay, yeah. Everybody's good. All right. Well, sorry about that. And Get Her Live. The sound there should be fine now. We're going back to the old system till we get the bugs worked out. Great to have you on Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com, GodzillaWins.com. It's NFL Week 6. I am your Godzilla. If you're on Get Her Live, you can see my Astros orange shirt on today. Jack says no baseball, so we're not going to talk about the Astros' impending sweep, the fact that the Phillies are going to beat Atlanta, the fact the Yankees are going to get knocked off by Cleveland, and the fact the Dodgers are going to be beat by the Padres. We're not talking about any of that, Jack says. It's football. Tomorrow we're going to the NFL. By the way, this show brought to you by TireGet.com. Go to TireGet.com. I'm in the tire business. I love tires. Now that I'm learning the tire business, I love tires more than anything in the world. I love tires. I can't. Tires, and tires. Go to TireGet.com. Put in promo code Godzilla. Get 5% off. TireGet.com. Plus you help, fund our alternative economy. I love tires. I'm learning about them. I love it. So much fun. Tires are fun. Go to Target.com. NFL Week 6. Hey, guys, I'm on fire. Sorry I crushed you guys last week. I was 8-5-1. I'm 4 games under 500 going into Week 6. I should have been 11-3 last week. Got beat games at the backdoor covers, half a point, whatever. Hey, we're on to this week, guys, and I'm fired up. You guys are never going to beat me again now, right? You had your fun for the first couple of weeks, where you guys were winners and you post your little things up, and I'm in last place. That's fine. Have your fun. This is a boomer bonanza, guys. Boomers pick winners, and I'm back. Godzilla's back. Now, let's go right to the board. Let's start with Niners at the Atlanta Clown Show. ACS. Here's the thing about the Clowns. They've covered every single week. They're 5-0 against the spread. They're home. Niners are coming in. They're a 4.5-point favorite. You got to look at this game. Everybody and their brother has got to say, well, Falcons, right? I mean, they're covering every spread. They're in every game. They look better than anybody saw. But I tell you what, guys, this Niners defense, this thing is something special. I mean, just watching them. I remember Jack and I went to what was that Super Bowl we went to, Jack, with Ray Lewis, right? That was what? Ravens, Giants, right? Remember that? And, remember that game? And there were a couple sequences there where my son and I said, hey, let's just watch Ray Lewis. Just watch him. And, I mean, that it kind of reminds me of him in that Ravens defense. I mean, these people are like monsters. So I love the Niners defense and lay the 4.5. The other thing is Niners are not messing around with inferior teams. I like San Francisco minus the 4.5. Let's go right to Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I think that your opinion is pretty common, but I don't like the 49ers here. Me and Jack are both pretty much huge Falcons fans at this point. I think that their offense has been, they were supposed to be the worst offense in the league. I figured at some point Mariota would get the hook, and he's played unbelievable in Atlanta. And I think that they hang around here. And I think they hang around just because the Niners are so banged up on defense now. That elite defense is just falling apart quickly. Bosa's out for several weeks with a groin injury. They have other guys with torn ACLs, shoulder injuries, on and on and on. Secondary's torn up. They have several people out in their secondary. So when I look at it, I just think maybe the defense isn't going to be as good right now as it has been just because of the injuries, which means that the Falcons should be able to be there at the end of the game. I mean, it looks like Pitts is going to be back for the Falcons. He changes their whole offense just being on the field. He opens up opportunities for some of their younger running backs and their younger wide receivers. And I'm just not ready to quit on the Falcons. I don't like the 49ers at the best of times. I don't like them now. Give me the Falcons plus the points.
Jack?
So I don't like either team. The line's too much for me. So it started at 6. It's down to 5. I don't know where you're seeing 4.5. I haven't seen 4.5 anywhere. So I think the line is 5.
I got it from
so
DraftKings. Well, wait. Now we can't be moving lines, right? I got it from DraftKings at 8 in the morning.
Go to DraftKings. Go to DraftKings right now. It's 5. I don't know where you're getting.
All right, then we'll
Unless
move it to 5. Then
it
it moved since I put this in, so we'll just move it to 5. All right, that's fine. It is what it is. Go ahead.
I like the over under here. Let's move on.
Jack, you're breaking up, Jack. I'm sorry. You said you like the over under.
Hey, I'm look, I'm having a issues and making for a bad show. So you and Nate,
we're gonna have to cut you out, Jack. I'm sorry until we get your technology fixed. Sorry, everybody. Nothing we can do. Also, Al, I've got people now saying they can't hear anything on Getter. So we actually went backwards here since we did this. It's just a night. It's a nightmare, guys. We're trying the best we can. Whenever you change something, these are the kind of things that happen. Okay, let's get to Pittsburgh. They're at home. Tampa Bay minus 9.5. Look, Nate, this Steelers team has got to be right now the worst team, maybe tied with the Bears or something. The worst team in the NFL. I mean, they are just pathetic. You can't bet the Steelers. I mean, they have a third-string quarterback. They're not moving the ball. Their offense is horrific. The team, I'm not saying they're quitting, but the blowout last week was something to behold. This is an ugly Steelers season, and it's going to get uglier when the Bucs defense realizes that Kenny Pickett is this year's version of Ryan Leaf. So I like the Bucs here, Nate, minus 9.5.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. The Bucs look like they're just going to totally outmatch the Steelers, right? But the Steelers are at home, and you got to feel bad for Kenny Pickett. I mean, the guy gets thrown in at halftime in a game that he's not sure he's ever going to play in. You know, he makes his first start on the road against the Bills. Things are just not looking awesome for Kenny Pickett right now. That being said, I think they can find a way to hang around in this game. You know, I don't really want to bet it, but if I had to pick it, I'll take the Steelers plus 9.5. I mean, Tomlin is incredible as an underdog. He's even better as an underdog at home. You know, and yeah, Kenny Pickett's going to struggle against this Tampa secondary. I mean, the secondary is, you know, the best in football. Their pass defense is the best in football. But, you know, Tampa's had trouble closing out games. You know, they looked like they were going to blow out Atlanta last week, and Atlanta kind of found a way to sneak back in and end up covering that game. I think that the back door's open here for the Steelers. Give me the Steelers plus the points. I don't want to watch it. I hate it, but I just got to play the numbers.
I love the Bucs here. This is another one of these games where Pittsburgh is not going to beat them. So it's a matter of, do they win by 7? Is their backdoor cover at the end? Do they win by 9? I mean, these are the games. This is why I'm always up, guys, because I never bet a dog that if I don't think they can win the game, I never bet them. I lay the points. And yeah, I'm going to get beat. I'm going to lay 5 and they win by 3. It happens, and it's happened to me a lot this season. But over the course of 17 weeks, you're going to make a lot of money not betting underdogs that you don't think can win the game. Pittsburgh is not going to beat Tampa, so now it's a matter of, covering or not. Okay, here's a game I love, Nate. I love this game. New England going to the Brownies. Now, I love what the Indians are, the Guardians are doing. They go home. This is pretty cool. Both of these stadiums are right next to each other. The Guardians baseball is going to be rocking right at, I'm not even sure if it's at the same time or maybe it's in the afternoon, but that thing is going to rock because there's going to be at least 2 games there, Saturday and Sunday. And you got that great midfield elf logo that the Browns have, Nate, at the which I love. But Belichick, his teams get better, Nate. Every week they get better. I mean, this is incredible. I mean, they completely dismantled Pittsburgh last week with a third-string quarterback. I said from the beginning their defense is real. It's formidable. I'm getting 2.5. I'm going to take the Pats in the 2.5, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to take the Pats plus 2.5 too. I mean, I'm just so sick of betting against Belichick this season. I just think that this team is going to be terrible. I think they're a little bit overrated. I think there's no way he can get anything out of a third-string quarterback. There's no way he's going to get anything out of Bailey Zapp. Blah, blah, blah. I talk myself into betting against him all the time, and all Bill Belichick does is just fucking ram it down my throat. He's just too good of a coach. He just is so much better than everyone else. This is 2 teams that profile pretty similarly. They want to run the ball a bunch. They play pretty good defense. And I think if that's the case, then you just take the better coach and the better team here. I mean, these teams look pretty similar to me, so I'm willing to just take the 2.5. And, if Bill Belichick finally doesn't cover a game and I lose, then just so be it. But I'm sick of betting against him.
All right, so we both have the same pick here, right? Pats plus 2.5. That's kind of the way I feel. Now, the Browns are one of these. I got a couple teams this season I can't win a bet on, Nate. It happens to me every season. I've already told you about Purdue in college. I'm 64. I haven't won a bet on them. College basketball or football my whole life since I'm 18. Add the numbers. I'm probably 0 for 190. But I can't. I bet against Cleveland. They win. I bet on them. They play like crap. So who knows? But I like the Pats. All right, Ravens going to the Meadowlands. Nate, I'm going to give you the lead here. This is a marquee game. Baltimore going to Giants. Giants now a 6-point underdog. What do you think?
I love the Ravens here. I mean, this Giants team, 4-1, yeah, great. Congratulations, they beat Aaron Rodgers last week, in the London game. And I guess, give Brian Daboll some credit for squeezing a lot out of this roster, which is pretty short on talent. But they're not a 4-1 team. They're not a good team, and I think the line reflects that. I mean, how often is a 4-1 team playing a 2-3 team and they're, a 6-point underdog? But Baltimore's good. Baltimore throws the ball well. And I think that Baltimore just crushes them here. Lamar Jackson has played spectacularly against the blitz. They played a blitz-heavy defense in Miami a few weeks ago, and he absolutely just tore them apart. I think that, the Giants are going to try and blitz him, make him uncomfortable, and I think that he's going to own them too. I mean, that's just what it looks like to me. I'm tired of this fraud Giants team that keeps winning, so give me the Ravens.
You like the Ravens. I'm going to take the Giants in this game with the 6. Remember I said I only bet underdogs if I think they can win. I think they're going to win the whole game. I mean, I'm not going to bet against a 4-1 team that all the experts keep telling us aren't very good, and they keep winning games. If I had $1 for every sports writer, Nate, that has said in the past 6 days, this is the worst 4-1 team in the NFL, I could probably buy an NHL hockey team and put it back in Hartford and call it the Whalers. I mean, you got to be kidding me. It's like Big Tuna said, Nate, Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. Now, and the Ravens have underwhelmed all season. And I tell you the other thing, the Harbaugh, that call he made 2 weeks ago, dissing his defense, and ESPN writers are too busy kissing his asshole all week. I love the Giants here. I think they can win this whole game. I think they're underestimated tremendously, and I think they got a chance to to win the whole thing. I like the Giants +6. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to win the whole game. I think it's going to be very, very close. And they're just going to run they're going to run the football. They control the game. I mean, on paper, you say, how is this team 4-1? But Nate, they keep winning, right? All right, Nate.
They do, yeah.
I mean, they just keep. So look, I like the G-men in 6. Nate, let's go to the Jets at Pack. Yeah, I'll let you lead this one off. Pack 7 at home. Jets coming to town.
Yeah, I mean, this is always tough games, right? The post-London games for teams tend to just really wear them out. They tend to come back from London just really gassed. So I'm always kind of looking to fade teams coming back from London, which is part of the other reason I like the Ravens a lot, and it's part of the reason I like the Jets here. Not because the Jets are awesome, but just because teams tend to be a little bit flat after traveling across the pond. So the Packers haven't looked good, right? I was optimistic a few weeks ago about their Super Bowl chances. I made a little Super Bowl future on them. I thought that Green Bay was going to start gelling. I thought that their defense was going to start gelling, and their defense has been just dreadful, especially against the run. They just can't stop anybody. They just got killed by the running attack from the Giants. And the Jets have been playing better. Zach Wilson's, been pretty decent since he came back from injury. They have, rookie running back Breece Hall, who's seeming to really find his way as well. So, I like the Jets here. It's more of just a gut play than anything else. It just feels like the Packers aren't really in a position to blow anybody out now. Do I think the Jets win? No. I mean, this is a must-win game for the Packers. Do I think that Aaron Rodgers does something heroic at the end to beat them by one score? Yeah. I mean, I'll take the Jets +7 here.
Look, I see the pick. I kind of get it. But the Packers, would you like to have been on that plane ride with Aaron Rodgers, that 20-hour plane ride back from London to Wisconsin last Sunday in the morning or the afternoon whenever they left? I mean, that was a horrific plane ride. I think Aaron Rodgers has got to stop bitching and start playing football. They're at home. A loss here to the Jets after getting beat by the Giants in London basically knocks them out of first place and puts their playoff home game at risk. I don't see them getting beat here. I think Rodgers has got to put the. Now he said the other day, he said, "Hey, we're 5 games in. We haven't played 4 good quarters in 5 games." I mean, he's blasting his team, but at some point, Aaron Rodgers has got to show up and be Aaron Rodgers. So I like the Pack here, laying the 7. Here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to try to get back to the system we had, Nate. So we're going to go to a quick break for about 5 minutes, Al, and we're going to get back to where we were because I think that's a better system. We got to power our way through it, see if we can get Jack back in. We got a lot of games when we get back. Bengals at Saints, Vikes at Dolphins, Jags at Colts. We got the Cards at Seahawks. We got some big ones, Nate. Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, Eagles, all coming up. You're on Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com. GodzillaWins.com. Quick
Listen to
break.
Kelvin.
You're listening to Godzilla Wins on the John Fredericks Media Network. For a deeper dive without the jive, visit the website of winners, GodzillaWins.com. Let's get back to the show with the guys in the know, John, Jack, and Nate. It's Godzilla Wins on the John Fredericks Media Network.
Sorry for those technical issues. Now we seem to have everything straightened out. Great to be with you, as always, on Godzilla Wins. Go to GodzillaWins.com, GodzillaWins.com. New, fresh content every single day. Jack Fredericks, my son, the editor of it, doing a great job. It's one of the best sites out there. You're going to get hooked on it. Sign up. Comes right to your inbox, GodzillaWins.com. I'm about to go on a roll. Nate and I just picked the Pack game. I like the Pack -7. Nate took the Jets. Okay, Bungles at New Orleans. Look, it opened at 1. Now it's 3. Here's my advice to anybody out there betting on football. Jump on the Saints right now. I'm sorry. Jump on Cincinnati. I'm sorry. Jump on Cincinnati right now, -3, because it's going to go up to 5 or 6. Half of the Saints offense is out. Jameis Winston, quarterback, out. Marshawn Lattimore, one of their best cornerbacks, out. Michael Thomas, wide receiver, out. Jarvis Landry, wide receiver, out. Chris Olaf, wide receiver, out. Deontay Hardy, receiver, out. You can't win a game with no quarterback and no receivers. The Saints got half a team. Cincinnati, lay the 3. Do it now. Nate?
I mean, I think you're probably right for all those reasons. I mean, Andy Dalton doesn't exactly inspire much confidence. It looks like he's going to be playing quarterback. But I'm just not really sure that I could bet this Saints team at all right now with all those defenses. I mean, with all those injuries, I mean, both defenses are pretty good here. The Bengals have had a better defense and offense this year. I can't imagine they have a ton of trouble with the Saints. So, I mean, I think the Bengals have to be the play here. The Bengals look like they're getting a little bit better. They need to start winning some games. They need to start putting some streaks together here. I don't love this game, just because I still worry about the Bengals. But I think Bengals -3 is probably the right play. Yeah. I'll take the Bengals.
Jack, go ahead.
Okay, I'm just doing a check. Can you hear me? Because I don't have a ton of service. I wasn't really ready for the phone.
Yep. All good.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so, I mean, kind of a boring show when everybody agrees, but, yeah, I mean, you got to take Cincy, right? Andy Dalton inspires no confidence. The Saints won a really weird game against the Seahawks last night. The Seahawks defense is kind of struggling, and they made Taysom Hill look like, I don't know, a cross between Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. I mean, it was just like ridiculous. So I think you take the Bengals here. I think they probably win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can't win a game with no receivers, right? It's one thing to have a backup quarterback and maybe they don't have a single receiver. I mean, they're getting guys off the practice squad. You got a backup quarterback. I know they're at home. Bengals defense has played better. I like the Bungles here. Okay, Vikes at Dolphins. I'm going to start this one off, guys. I'm not going to bet the Dolphins again until they win and cover. I think what they did to Tua, what the organization did to him, is one of the most unconscionable, despicable things a company has ever done to a human being. I think it's going to destroy their season. I mean, if you're on that team right now, I mean, you got to go in that locker room. You got to go in that practice field every day and think, well, does this team care about me? Like, if something happens to me, are they going to put me back out there so that I can almost die? It was a corrupt thing to do. I think it's really going to hurt this team. Look, the Vikings aren't flashy, right? This is what I said a week ago. They run their team like an IBM board of directors meeting in the 1950s, right? Just enough to win, just enough to get there. They manage games. They're not flashy. Cousins is Cousins. But I think they go to Miami here. I think they win the game handily. Look, culture matters. I know you guys are millennials. You don't see it. I get it. Culture in a company matters. Culture in your family matters. Culture raising your children matter. Culture matters. I think the culture that the Dolphins have created with the Tua thing is a corruption. I'm going with the Vikings -3. Screw Miami. Jack?
Yeah, so that was inspired. I don't really have a pick in this game. I've been staying away from the Vikings all year because, like, what Kirk Cousins are you going to get? The one that stinks or the one that's good? How many play-action pass plays can I see watched from the Vikings before I get bored? Who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins? I think it's Skylar Thompson this week. I think Teddy Bridgewater is still out. Okay, so how do you take 3 points when Skylar Thompson's your quarterback? This is a game I stay away from. Maybe the Vikings just absolutely dominate, but I just have no feel for the Dolphins anymore, and I don't really like watching the Vikings. Even though I picked them to win the division, I don't really enjoy the process of watching them play football, so I just kind of stay away from this game.
Nate?
Yeah, I mean, this game is going to make me reflect on my degeneracy. It's no secret. We post about it on the website all the time on GodzillaWins.com. And a lot of times we'll do like a little bit of a look ahead. So before they even played last week, I bet Miami. I figured, maybe Tua will be back. It was before Teddy Bridgewater was injured. And now I'm sitting here holding a Miami -2, thinking I was the biggest genius in the world and they were going to shred up this Vikings defense, and now Skylar Thompson is playing. So I can only just, hope that the Dolphins pull out some sort of miracle, but I can't recommend anybody bet on the Dolphins. I mean, who the hell knows what Skylar Thompson is going to look like out there. They just now the culture seems to be they just pull everybody all the time, and they're just going to send out all their scrubs because they don't want anyone to get hurt anymore. So I don't see how you can play the Dolphins now. I mean, if you had to, I guess it's the Vikings, but it's not. I can't recommend either play on this game. These teams are just too weird right now.
You guys see, you guys are too conservative, man. Bet against the Dolphins until they cover. It could be 6 or 7 weeks, right? I'm going to ride this wave, baby. They look like a great team. Now, they got Skylar Thompson. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, who the hell is Skylar Thompson? Like, I'm going to bet them. I mean, Minnesota is a good team. They're going to go to Miami, win this game. Okay, Nate. It's all you, baby. It's all you, Nate. Jags. Tied for first. Oh, my gosh. No, they're not tied for first. They were almost tied for first. Now they go to Indianapolis. Indianapolis 2-3. Jags are 2-3. But wait a minute. Indianapolis could be 0-5. Nate, it's all yours, baby.
All right. You already know where I'm going here. I like the Jags. I mean, I'm just all in on the Jags. I think they win the AFC South. I think they can, be sneaky in the playoffs. I think Trevor Lawrence is great. So, my love for them is well documented by this point. And the Jaguars just destroyed the Colts about a month ago. Beat them 24-0. Indy looked horrible. And the reality is Indy is horrible. They're the worst team in football by most metrics. Their offense is the worst overall. It's the worst passing. It's the worst rushing. And the Jaguars have a pretty decent defense. The only thing that scares me in this game, and the reason that I'm not just putting every single dollar I have on the Jaguars, is that the home teams just dominate the series. I think that the Jaguars have lost 8 of 9 of the last trips to Indianapolis, which is just a fluky thing. I'm willing to sort of write it off as a fluke, just because that was a different Jaguars team. That was a dysfunctional Jaguars team, and they look very good now. They look like a real team. I'm not ready to quit on them. I think they, finally just bury Indy. Indy just gives up on the season and starts, playing towards the offseason in a draft pick. Give me the Jags.
What do you think? Nate likes the Jags plus 2.5.
This is a situation where I am kicking myself as well, because on Sunday night I saw this line at plus 1.5 Jags and I hammered it. I was like, oh man, the Jags. Plus 1.5, that line's going to move to -1. The Jacksonville Jaguars are incredible. They're the best team in the league. All these DVOA statistics say they're top 10, blah, blah, blah. The Colts stink. They scored 12 points against the Broncos on Thursday. Then the line moved in the opposite direction, and now you can get 2.5. So the Jags need to win this game for me to basically win the bet, so that's great. I'm taking the Jags plus 2.5. They still, statistically, they're not an anomaly. This team is good. This team is really good. It's just if you're getting Trevor Lawrence from last year or Trevor Lawrence from this year, I don't think Indianapolis has enough on defense to stop them. I think they probably put up maybe 20, and Indy can't score. They're not any good on offense. So, I mean, they got a bad offensive line, an ailing quarterback, and no real weapons other than Jonathan Taylor, who hasn't been that effective this year. So give me the Jags. 2.5, 1.5, -6, doesn't matter.
Guys, I'm going to pick here, right? I mean, the last time these two teams played, didn't Jacksonville shut them out 24-0? Yes. Did I get that score right? Right?
Yep, that's right.
With the Indianapolis Colts were 2 fluke plays from coming home to this game 0-5. This is an 0-5 team. I mean, let's face reality. This is an 0-5 team that happens to be 2-3. Matt Ryan has the mobility of a rusted tricycle. I mean, the guy can't get out of his own way. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's one and done. I mean, he's getting 1.5 yards a carry, and they have a decent offensive line. So I don't know what's going on there. And all we're going to hear all week about is Frank Reich this and Frank Reich this and the ESPN sycophants, fawning over the Colts again because they
won a game last week at Denver, which absolutely sucks, and they never should have won that game. Team should be 0-5. Okay, the Jaguars laid an egg. They crapped the bed in Houston. I mean, at home with the Texans. I get it, right? It's the NFL any given Sunday. I mean, I think they go in here and blow them out again. I'm with you guys. I can't believe I'm getting 2.5. I can't believe it. I'm going to take the 2.5 and laugh my ass off on this game because Colts are not going to beat them. Jacksonville's a better team. So we're all with the Jags on this one. This is 2.5 only because the Colts have this mystique about them that I've been talking about it with you guys forever. You doubt me on it, but why are they a 2.5 point favorite here? They stink, right? That's why, because it's a mystique. Okay, Cards at Sea. Oh, come on, stop. I mean, stop, right? Stop. I mean, you're going to actually bet Seattle in this game, right? They're not going to beat the Cardinals. Now they're starting to win. Murray's starting to run around again like a crazy man. Geno Smith had his day in the sun. Whatever. This is just a bad Seattle team. Cards are trying to play to get in the playoffs. Yes, their defense is horrible. I understand that. Seattle's is no better. Coupled with the fact all Seattle's going to be depressed on this afternoon when the Astros eliminate them from the playoffs, and they can all just go away and wait till next year or whatever one does when we sweep their ass. I love the Cardinals minus the 2.5. Jack?
Yeah, you're wrong on this one for sure. Nate and I hammered the Seahawks because they're so good. I mean, okay, their defense, not so good. Again, they made Taysom Hill look amazing last week. So this promises to be pretty high scoring. You know, I'd probably take the over. Geno Smith is legitimately right now, through 5 weeks of the season, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You can look at film. You can see his accuracy. He throws down the field. He doesn't just dump it off to the running back. He completes most of his passes. He's like second or third leader in touchdowns. He ranks with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Patrick Mahomes in almost every category this year. He is legitimately one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm taking the Seahawks, and I get 2 points against the Cardinals with Cliff Kingsbury. Absolutely not. At home, the reason you like Arizona, Dad, right now is because you're mad that the Astros are playing the Mariners, and so you hate the city of Seattle until we move on to the Yankees or the Guardians. So just smart money's on Seattle here. I know Nate agrees.
Nate?
Absolutely agree. I mean, just horrible take, John. I mean, Seattle is a good team. I mean, they have the best offense in the league statistically. They're number one in passing, which is ahead of Lamar. It's ahead of Josh Allen. It's ahead of Patrick Mahomes. You know, they have a legitimate passing attack. Geno Smith moves the ball down the field. I mean, when you adjust and take away screen passes, take away play action, Geno Smith flat gets it downfield and hits DK Metcalf and hits Tyler Lockett. And they've just been playing unbelievable football offensively. Does the defense suck? Absolutely. Is it a humongous liability? Sure. Do Pete Carroll teams tend to pull it together defensively as the season goes on because he's sort of a defensive-minded coach? Yes. This is a team that feels like a sneaky playoff team that, you know, in January we're going to be scratching our heads saying, like, oh, Seattle made the playoffs. And I think that's going to be a really fun journey for me because I bet on them to make the playoffs. And I think that everyone's just sleeping on Seattle. Nobody wants to believe they're for real, but all the stats suggest they are for real. I just hammered the money line here. I didn't even want the points. I took the points with a little bit of insurance. But, I mean, Kyler Murray just doesn't look like the guy to exploit this bad Seattle defense. I mean, Kyler Murray is just not good. So give me all Seattle. This is my favorite play of the week.
Stats don't win games. People do, right? Murray's going to run around the city. Like, this guy's on Seattle. I mean, this I don't know what this phrase means, but I'm going to tell you what your guys' bet is. This is a square bet. I don't know what square bet means, but this is whatever you guys call me when I bet something. You say, "Oh, Dad, that's a square bet." No, I don't know what it means, but that's a square bet. I love the Cardinals here. You guys are going to be crying your eyes out, Jack. I'm not going to loan you money on this one. Sorry, that's not going to happen. Don't come crying to me when your team goes down the tubes. Okay, sidebar.
All your money's in crypto and gold anyway.
How'd you know that? crypto and gold. See, I got out of the stock market. Jack knows what happened to us in 2008. Had a house, had a business, and then I'm homeless. So, yes. Business, house on a lake.
Like a great
business, house on a lake, 2 cars, kids in college, homeless. Yeah. Good job, Dad. Okay, but now I'm in crypto. Now I'm in crypto and gold, baby. Crypto and gold.
You get all your financial.
Crypto and gold, because you know what? Here's what I know. Gold's not going to zero, right? Right now it's at 1,700. It's not going to zero. You want more information on gold, text Godzilla to 989898. Birch Gold to send you the info. Gold's not going to zero. And if you're not betting on crypto, you got your head in the sand, because that's going to be the currency of choice going forward when the dollar collapses, right? You heard it here first. Not only do I give you football, but look, I'm not a financial analyst. This is my opinion. It's not advice. You guys do what you want. But here is my opinion. Cats at Rams. Oh, jeez. Okay, Nate and John, we got to take a victory lap here. Both of us told you game 1. Both of us told you Coach Matt Rule wouldn't be around by Halloween. We missed by 2 weeks, right? He was 2 weeks short. He got fired. Matt and I said this guy would not be around to finish October. He's a horrible coach. Next time you see him, he's going to be a Troy coach, and that's where he belongs. Look, Rams are 10. Nobody likes laying 10, right? Both of the millennials are going to tell me about taking the points or something. Just bet the Rams here. Carolina's not going to come in. They got a brand-new quarterback. They finally got rid of Baker. He's not an NFL quarterback. P.J. Walker. Rams need to make a statement here. I think the Rams, this is going to be a blowout, 35-10, cover easy, Rams -10. Jack?
I mean, you might be right here, but, yeah, I'm not laying 10 points. And I'm mad at the Rams because I laid 5 last week because I was trying to be different because you guys picked the Cowboys. I thought, well, let me just pick the Rams just to be different in the column, and then they lost. So I'm off the Rams. I'm mad at them. Their offensive line is an absolute liability. They can't get anything going on offense. Their defense is okay, but not elite. And maybe the Panthers get a little jolt from all the little shakeup. They come in extra motivated, flying to L.A., staying in Manhattan Beach. Maybe they score 14 points instead of 7, and the Rams, fall into a 19-14 win, and I cover.
I mean, you bet teams hoping for a backdoor cover. That's like insanity. But that's what you guys do. That's fine. See, that's why you need to follow the Boomers. I'm a little bit older, and I know you and your brother make fun of me. And just so everybody knows, both of them call me the Boomer. I don't even. What is it? I mean, that's what they call me. Oh, here's what the Boomer says, right? And now my daughter's doing the same thing, right? Here's what the Boomer says. Boomers have experience. This is one removed from the greatest generation. We laid 10. Millennials, they want to take backdoor covers. It's just insane. Nate, what do you think?
That's why our winning percentage is like 58%. Yours is 45%.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back, baby. Nate,
coming back.
Tell Jack I'm right.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. When we talk about square bets, usually those square bets are influenced by this team is good, this team is bad, and have generally no stats to back it up, which is why someone would take the Rams here, which is why you took the Rams here. But I love I kind of like, I hate to recommend it, right? Like the Panthers are bad, but Steve Wilkes can't be a worse coach than Matt Rule, and PJ Walker can't play worse than Baker Mayfield, who's going to be sidelined with some sort of phantom ankle injury. So I hate it, but I think you got to take the Panthers plus the points here, just because the Rams can't score, right? And you can't cover 2 scores unless you score. And the Rams are in the bottom, quarter of the league. They're 25th in passing and rushing. They're not good. Offensively, they haven't figured it out. I don't think they're going to figure it out here enough to be able to cover this giant spread. Just take the Panthers. Don't watch the game, though. Just check your account balance at the end.
Check your account balance at the end. All right. You guys are wrong. Let's get to the big games now. There's finally some big games coming, except for Monday, which is another stink ball. And I'm so glad these games are not on Monday night because I can never stay up to watch them because I have to go to bed. Bills go to Kansas City. Now, Jack, you know that your grandfather, Sam, bless his heart, one of his number one football rules was never bet against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. I followed that last week. But I'm going to start here. I love Buffalo in this game. In fact, I made him my best bet. And I'm going to go back to what Nate said about square bets or something. Buffalo's a better team. The writers, the sports writer, which, by the way, is there's anything I've learned about GodzillaWins.com is sports writers can't write. I mean, they're just horrible, the majority of them. So when you find a good one, it's like, wow, right? Because you guys are professional writers. That's why this Godzilla Wins is so fantastic. Especially the ones on the gambling sites. Oh, my God, they're pathetic, right? You guys are the best, but they're just a better team. They got a better defense. They got better special teams. They got more speed. You're talking about a Chiefs team that could have gotten beat last week in overtime by the Raiders, right, had they not made a bunch of stupid calls. They're all billing this as Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes, but it's really the Bills' defense versus they don't have Tyrone Hill. I love the Bills in this game. I'm getting 2.5. Are you kidding me? No. Is it what, Jack? Do I have this wrong? Are the Chiefs 2.5 for the Bills?
You get Bills minus 2.5.
Minus 2.5. Okay. When I put it on my column, let me just change that. So I'm laying 2.5. I'd lay 5, 6. I just think Buffalo is a better team, and bet the better team. You know, they just haven't. The Chiefs don't look the way they were without Tyrone Hill. My best bet of the week: Bills minus 2.5. Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Bills minus 2.5 is the right play. Some of it's just because, it's a key number. Games most often land on 3, 7, 10, 14. We talk about key numbers. Sometimes those are key numbers. So minus 2.5, I think, has some value. Mostly what I think this is just, Josh Allen's just playing at an unbelievable level right now. He looks like he's going to be the MVP. And I think that, he can exploit weaknesses in Kansas City. Kansas City's secondary has looked very vulnerable. And I think that Josh Allen just has a day with them. Likewise, Kansas City's offensive line has struggled to give Patrick Mahomes a ton of time to pass. And that Bills defensive line is nasty. So, I mean, give me the Bills here.
Jack?
Yeah, I take the Bills too. Always boring when all three of us take the
we're all just going to lose.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. The Chiefs are going to win by 12. I mean, this may be a little bit of a reaction from Monday where it's like, oh my gosh, the Chiefs almost lost to the Raiders, but maybe the Raiders are good. It's division rivalry. It is an Arrowhead. But yeah, I mean, how do you bet against Josh Allen right now? Just wait until Josh Allen comes back down to earth and stops playing like an alien, and maybe start betting against him. But as of right now, I don't think Nate's right about the key number. If it was 3 or 7 or 6, I'd take the Chiefs. But it's 2.5. That's a good little number. I'll take the Bills too.
Look, we're all over the Bills. We're going to save the Cowboys-Eagles game to last. And let's go to Monday night and go to the Broncos at the Bolts. The first question I've got, Nate, and we've got to do this fast so we have time in the Cowboys game. Why do they keep putting Denver on Monday and Sunday night games? Can somebody answer me that question? It's like NFL marketing malpractice. This team is so boring and horrible to watch. Again, they're on a Monday night. What is up with this?
It's just awful, isn't it? I mean, we keep thinking and I know that was the narrative all offseason, right? Broncos are just a quarterback away. They're just a quarterback away. Now they got a quarterback. They're going to be great. They're going to be exciting to watch, and they just suck. They're just terrible. So, I mean, I have no idea what to think about this game. The Chargers haven't looked like themselves either. But, again, you guys know me for just ugly picks. I guess I'll take the Broncos. They just find a way to hang around. The defense is good.
They do find a way to hang. They do find a way to hang around. I'll grant you that. But I mean, they're going to L.A. here. I mean, they don't score. It's 4. Here's my take. They're 4.5. As far as I'm concerned, if the Chargers score 10 points, you win your bet because the Broncos average, 5 a game? I mean, and the LA defense the Chargers defense is good. They don't score. I 4.5, it should be 8, right? Because they don't score. I love the Bolts. Lay the 4.5. This game to me is a joke. Jack?
Pass. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to watch it because I am always watching Monday night, and I'll probably figure out a way to lose money on it Monday at 4. I don't want to pick it. I have no idea. I mean, the Broncos stink and the Chargers are hurt. I mean, this should be an easy win for the Chargers in normal times, but this is insane times. So I'm just going to say no pick. I don't know.
All right, I like the Bolts to cover 4.5. Bet it early. It's only going to go up. But, of course, there's always Denver money out there. But, yeah, the narrative blew up. They're only a quarterback away. Russell Wilson, whatever. They suck, and they should be banned from being Monday night, Sunday night, or Thursday night. They should be banned for the remainder of the season. Okay, let's get to the big one. Cowboys, Eagles in Philadelphia. Eagles 6.5. Nate, you're up.
Huge game. I love the Cowboys here. I mean, why wouldn't you love the Cowboys here? I mean, the Cowboys are playing at an unbelievable level. It doesn't matter who's under center. All they do is win right now. So, I mean, you got to love them just in that respect alone. And I think that there's one key thing. You know, it looks like Dak's still going to be out, but we got Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is great. And I think that there's a couple key things that make me like the Cowboys more than just, I want them to win because they're my team. And it's that the offensive line for Philly has 4 guys with injuries designations out of 5. So they're going to come in banged up. And we all know that Dallas has been winning with defense, and that defensive line is filthy, led by Micah Parsons. I think they're going to harass Jalen Hurts. They're going to get after him. They're going to force him into mistakes. And that's really like the edge that I'm looking for here. I mean, you just got to like a team with that much defensive talent getting, almost a touchdown. It just, it looks like a no-brainer to me to take the 6.5 points here. Ezekiel Elliott usually shows up for games in Philly. He had a pretty bad year last year, and he still managed to get over 100 yards in 2 games against Philly last year. He tends to get up for these games, these rivalry games. I don't think they have a problem running the ball. I think they make Jalen Hurts' life hard. Give me the Cowboys.
All right, Nate likes Cowboys plus 6.5. Jack?
I'm going to do my best Boomer impression, and I'm going to say the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. So lay the 6.5. I don't think I've laid 6.5 in a while. But they're at home. The Cowboys, Micah Parsons' defensive line, nasty. But the Eagles are not the Rams. Jalen Hurts is not Matthew Stafford. He gets the ball out super quick. If you watch those games, and Nate doesn't watch the Eagles because he hates them, but if you watch the Eagles play, they drop back. Hurts gets the ball out in 2 seconds. They got explosive guys in the run game, explosive wide receivers. Dallas is good, and they're going to be good the whole season. I picked them to win the division, so again, I'm looking smart. But I think that just if we just take Jalen Hurts versus Cooper Rush game manager, Jalen Hurts explosive play potential, I'm going to go with the best team in the NFC right now. Give me the Eagles. I'm going to lay the points. Philly's rocking after they beat the Braves, and it's just going to be nuts. So minus 6.5, I'll take Philly.
Jack's laying the 6.5. Wow, that's a gutsy bet. Every dog has its day. Al Pacino, Scarface, 1983. I believe in Dallas. I believe in this defense. I believe in Micah Parsons. I believe in the whole thing. I believe in McCarthy. I've turned on Dallas 100%. I think they win this whole game. I think that look, that team, that defense, Nate, Micah Parsons, they got other rushers, their linebackers. It reminds me of the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl when Trent Dilfer was the quarterback, and my son Jack and I were laughing our ass off at the fact that, we had Air McNair and we had Eddie George and they had Trent Dilfer, right? The end was beating us in the playoffs, blocking a field goal that would have ended the game, go up by 9, block a field goal, return it for a touchdown win. This team, their defense is going to win this thing. They're tough. I love the Cowboys plus 6.5. Now, we've only got 20 seconds. Very quickly, Phillies, Atlanta. Who wins? Jack?
Atlanta.
Nate?
Atlanta.
Phillies. Cleveland, New York. Who wins, Jack?
New York.
Nate?
New York.
Cleveland. San Diego, L.A. Who wins, Jack?
Padres.
Nate?